Welcome friends, welcome once again in my YouTube channel. We are talking about some of the important topics on project management. These are small videos and today is going to be another video about the same. Before I move ahead, I request you to like my channel, subscribe it and give your valuable comments. Welcome once again, and today's topic is common mistakes in project management. And there are a lot of them. I've just made the important ones to understand. Let us look at one by one. Common mistakes in project management. First one is having plan in head. It's like that everyone feels that I am the king. So keeping plan in our head is one of the mistakes people do. Nobody keeps on paper, and this is the first mistake which people do. It is difficult to keep everything in our head. We have a lot of things to keep in our head. Our memory is not that great, or it can keep everything. If you do that, it adds stress and it also affects our health. So it is important to know that whatever plans are there, they are on the paper and not in here. When you handle multiple projects, it creates confusion. You might think of this is for this project, but finally it could be for something else. So it's difficult also to track and monitor whatever is in our head. If we have on desktop or on paper properly managed, we can track it, monitor it, and take actions. It is also very difficult to share with the stakeholders, even in our organization, your bosses, customers, because everything we cannot keep in head. So this is first mistake. The second mistake is about giving this answer or saying that maybe I will try. When the stakeholder asks you that can you do this, you will say I will try. That becomes a commitment to the stakeholders. And without plan, you should not say I will try or maybe, because the other side always takes as commitment. And just to fulfill that commitment, you put a lot of pressure on your systems and your people. It goes through a confusion mode, chaotic. It adds cost. It adds a lot of trouble on quality. The quality gets impacted. The cost goes up, and everything is done under pressure because of only these two words, either maybe or I will try. So this should not be done. You always have to go back to the plan and say whether you'll be able to manage it or not. So this is second mistake which is done. The third mistake is answering that killer question, what best you can do. And this is where people get trapped most of the time. When the stakeholder asks what best you can do, you get provoked and you give a commitment of an exact date. Don't give an exact date if you don't have plan in front of you. You always have to go back to plan and see whether you will be able to manage it or not. Don't get provoked. If you still want to give some date, give a range, because that range will have a buffer in your mind, and then you can go back and see. So this is another area of common mistakes. The fourth one is not involving teams. Most of the time, we feel we are the leader. We go back and tell customer without taking the ownership from the teams, or without involving the teams, without taking their decisions, their inputs. We go and commit. So that's another mistake people do. Ownership of the team is very important. If their inputs are considered, then they will give full effort there, and they will be able to take their ownership and put their efforts, and that commitment can be matched. No one can do everything. It's important to have team commitments, and involving team is extremely important. So this is where the team comes in picture. Involve the teams. The fifth one is task versus bar chart. People do this listing of tasks, of what are the tasks which are required to complete the project, but they don't sequence it. They don't use per chart, and it becomes a guesswork, because if you don't have the sequencing in place, and if you only have tasks and the times, you will not be able to achieve a proper schedule. There cannot be a critical path, and that's very important to know this. What are the tasks? What are these dependencies on each other, so that we can map a per chart, we can get a proper bar chart, and we can get a proper critical path. So this is another mistake. You can see 20% of the projects are without plan, 25% plan with one person's head, 25% with only task, 10% with chart but without critical chart, 10% are with critical chart but with guesswork, and only 10% are with proper plan. It's important to understand this. The next one is not planning on all projects, and it's very important to see this chart for this. You cannot have one project planned properly and others go for toss. We have to have overall control. If you don't plan all the projects together, there cannot be overall control. One project will do well, the other projects will fail. So if you look at this, there are 6 projects over here. Project A is completed. The project C is moving well. It is ahead of time. The project B was supposed to get completed till here, but it is lagging. Project D was about to start on this day, before this day, but it's not started. So this is where planning on all projects matters. Stories versus plan. Whenever stakeholder asks for what is a plan, we always are ready to give stories because people want to hide facts and there's no plan in front of them. So stories will not help, and that is another mistake which we'll do. Thinking underspend is okay. People feel that the cost on the project is less, that means I am happy. No, cost has to be related with the time, and this is very important. Otherwise, just thinking underspend is okay is a myth. So if you look at a project of 10-month completion over here, on 5th month, the planned cost was 10 crores, actual cost is 8 crores, and we might feel happy. But actual the planned progress was 5, and actual progress is 4. So you achieved less. So we should not be happy. So we have to look all these parameters before you think you are happy. If you move like this, you will go beyond your project schedule and you will spend more cost. So it's important that this myth should be removed, and this is another mistake. Rescheduling is too late. We cannot reschedule at the last milestone. This scheduling, if proper monitoring and tracking is happening, you can do rescheduling at the right place, and then you can forecast your commitments or forecast your completion dates in advance. Not reviewing. People feel that they know this job and they should not review it. This is the unique job, nobody can understand this. These are some of the reasons which are given for not reviewing. Very busy, no time, but it's important to review at least once in a week, and we can get 1-page report of what went well, what went bad, and what could have been done better. These are important lessons which can be used for future projects. So this is another mistakes of not reviewing on the projects. Now, why mistakes? Because people feel that software can do anything, and there's a lack of training. First of all, we should know what is the fundamental behind this software. Software is just tool. What inputs we give, software will give the output. So first of all, we have to get trained ourselves. Project seems to be easy at the start, very happy, but it cannot be. Projects always go through challenges. There are always risks associated to it. Planning takes time is another myth, and that's one of the cause of mistakes. And very important is we need that person over here who is the project manager. And if he is not there, a clear leader is not there, then the projects will have impact. So that's all from my go through these courses, very, very important courses on project management importance, a basic one, project risk management, leadership in project management, and project management expertise. This expertise is the entire project management, all the knowledge areas, all the project phases are covered. So this is complete course. You can call on this number. These are available only for limited times. Thank you very much for patient listening. You can follow me on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and ajazkazi.com.